I'm Cami Stephen with the Star Herald, and this is Table Talk. Today I'm chatting with Megan Koppenhafer. She is the manager for the farmers markets in both Gering and Scottsbluff. When are those?
So the Scottsbluff Farmers Market is every Saturday it starts in June, and we're running through the end of September, and it takes place from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. And the Gering Farmers Market is on Thursdays, and that's actually starting July 2nd through the end of September as well, and that will go from 5 p.m. until like the time the sun goes down, and so right now with the longest days we're going until 7:30 p.m.
Gotcha. Okay. So why should someone go to both of them?
So there's going to be different vendors. There will be some crossover, of course, but the Scottsbluff Farmers Market reaches a range of vendors in the Scottsbluff area, and the Gering Farmers Market kind of attracts those vendors from the Gering area. And I also, as the farmers market manager for both, I'm trying to focus on a different environment for both. So the Scottsbluff Farmers Market is your typical Saturday morning market, an opportunity for families to come together, get outside, start their day off, picking up some fresh produce for their families. And we always try to have some light music, and now that the restrictions are lessening, we're going to incorporate some socially distant games as well. For the 4th of July, we were actually doing a chalk drawing competition. So we're going to try to incorporate things like that. And the Gering Farmers Market is going to focus more on the after work gathering atmosphere. So still family friendly, but we're also encouraging people after they get off work to come on down and pick up their groceries for the week, maybe get some dinner. We're hoping to have some food trucks there as the season continues on, and we'll also have music there. And so I think we're trying to focus on a little bit of a different environment, which will also then attract different vendors. So
Definitely. So tell me a little bit about the vendors that you've got.
So in both markets, we have produce vendors and homemade good vendors. So we are focusing on bringing in those people who are either growing or making their own products. And so we have things like homemade goat's milk soap, fresh vegetables. Obviously, as the season goes on, we'll be looking at an expansion of produce options. Most of that starts rolling in end of July to August, but we do have a lot of vendors who have been working really hard to grow those early spring vegetables. So we have greens and peas. We also have some bread vendors and people making baked goods as well.
Awesome. So do you have any openings for vendors?
We do. We are encouraging vendors to continue to reach out to us throughout the season, and we are hoping that we will continue to get more vegetable vendors, like I said, as people's produce continues to grow. And we know that there are some vendors who really narrow in on growing for the early seasons, and so they've had greenhouses, but we know more people will have things as the season continues on. So we encourage those people to definitely reach out to us. You can sign up at any time, and we'll work with you on whether you want to come for just one farmer's market or the full season.
Perfect. How do people get in touch with you if they want to sign up to be a vendor?
So the best way to get in touch with me is to give me a call at 319-512-5203 or email either of the market emails. You can send a message through Facebook, but I will probably also then tell you to send an email because those Facebook messages tend to get lost. I will make sure that there is the emails that you can include in the link perhaps below the video, but I will say them now for the purposes of just doubling up. But the Scottsbluff Farmers Market email is scottsblufffarmersmarket, all one word, at gmail.com, and the Gering Farmers Market is geringfarmersmarket, all one word, at gmail.com. So we make it really easy. Yes, there are 3 F's in the Scottsbluff Farmers Market email, so it's going to look a little weird, but I promise it's correct.
Perfect. And can you tell me a little bit about why farmers markets are important to communities?
Definitely. So I really personally believe in the impact that local food can have for our local economies, for our local health, for our local resiliency. So my personal promotion for the farmers market is if you could support a local farmer that you know lives and contributes to your community, all the better. Our grocery stores are great for year-round produce, but we try to provide an opportunity for our local farmers to reach a direct customer base through the farmers markets. And we actually have a winter farmers market as well in Scottsbluff, so if you've never been to that, that's something to look forward towards the October end of the year. But our focus is on bringing customers directly to farmers, and I think the second piece of that, in addition to supporting our local economies, is that when we support local food, we also know about where our food comes from. Especially in a farming community, I think a lot more of us are familiar with that than they are, say, in bigger cities, but farmers markets allow you a more intimate connection with the people that grow your food and perhaps give you an opportunity to better understand what went into growing that food. And finally, the last thing is, with the disruption in the food chains that we've seen as a result of the pandemic, supporting our local farms is a way to increase our local resiliency. So I think it's really important for local economy, for our local sense of place, for our local understanding of our food and what grows well here and all of that.
Awesome. Thanks so much for joining me today. Everybody needs to check out both of those farmers markets. Again, thanks for chatting with me. I'm Cami Stephen with the Star Herald, and this has been Table Talk.